Okay.
Okay.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
everyone.
everyone.
Good evening, and welcome to today's class. I'm sure we've had a wonderful week so far, and the classes we've had so far has been very, very insightful to each and every one of us. I'm so glad to have us here. Thank you for being timely. I want to recognize our presence. Thank you, Uju. Thank you, Abraham. Thank you, Ezekiah. Thank you, Ganil. Thank you for joining so far. And to everyone who's also going to watch the replay or join at any point, I also want to welcome you to today's class. And today's class is Oust, things to cut off from our lives. Now, oust is a word. It could be a verb because it's an action. So oust something means to maybe throw away something, do away with something, expel something, disregard something. It can be used for things and it can also be used for people. Another word that you can use in place of oust is declutter. So the reason why I think that this class is very important at this point is because I know that we're going to be stepping into a new year very soon. And there are some things that we need to do away with in our lives. There are some things that if we still have them in our lives, it might not create room or the opportunity for us to move forward smoothly or perfectly. There are also some things that we have in our lives that if we don't remove them, they might make our journey sluggish. They might just draw you back, they might just hold you back. Just imagine a picture of a child when you're telling a child to carry something that is bigger than the child might try, but it's going to be very different. It's going to be very difficult for the child. But if you give the child something that is based on his capacity, he will be able to, manage it. So, for example, one thing that comes to my mind is I know that as kids, there's this game that children usually play where you're rolling the tires, you're just running after the tire and you're rolling it. They start with a very small tire, and then as you grow, you go with a bigger tire. But I don't think that there's any given point in time where you have the trial of a bulldozer you're able to push it. That one requires a lot of help. Now, this shows how things can hold us back. So, welcome again to today's class, our things to cut off from our lives, and these would be our introduction, our outline. I mean, we have introduction, definition. I already gave the definition. It means to expel, remove things, take things out. 7 things that I think we need to cut off using headers. So in between, along the way, as I talk about these 7 things, I'll just mention some tests that you need to take for yourself or some assignments that you need to carry out. We might not be able to take the bonus for time, but I'll move it to next class. And then if there are any questions, we'll be happy to take that. Now, one of the people that strongly believes that our life should not be based on sentiments or emotions or how we feel. We're always saying, I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to tell you how I feel. It's good to know that we are humans and we're feelers, but you can't always depend on your emotions to act or to take a decision. And the reason is because they are fleeting. 1 minute you can be overly excited, 1 minute you're going to be sad. I don't think that should be something that would affect our lives, because if you're a professional where you're working in an organization, you cannot say, oh, because I'm not feeling great today, I'm not going to come to work, or because I'm not feeling great, that's why I'm not going to do my best. No, irrespective of how you feel per time, there's a need for you to make sure that I have certain standards that I'm not going to go against. They have been set. Now, like I said at the beginning, house is about things, not people. Of course, I know that definitely something that we all know, that there are some relationships that keep us back that we need to cut off. But I think I'll just leave that for us to decide. We definitely know that we can't say that we can't overemphasize that. We've heard the quote about where you're going to be in the next 5 or 10 years is based off on the quality of the relationship that you have. So you definitely know that you need only quality people around you, people who can support you and, cheer you to greatness. But today we also want to look at some of the things that's keeping you down. So number one, things that have fulfilled their purpose in their lives, in your life, sorry, things that have fulfilled their purpose in your life. Now we know one of the greatest definition or quotes on purpose is the fact that when a purpose of a thing is not known, then abuse is inevitable. If you don't know why you have something or why you're experiencing something or why you're in a place, then you're not going to make the most of it, right? So the value you place on a thing is based on the purpose that you know that it's going to serve. So, for example, because you know that your mobile phone is very valuable, you need to connect to the internet, you need to know news, you need to make transfers, you need to do several transactions. You will not treat your phone anyhow. As much as it's an inanimate object, it doesn't speak. You're not just going to throw it or toss it the way you would toss maybe a plate or a broom, because you know the purpose. The purpose now helps you value that thing. And it's same thing for us in our life. Everything in our life, everything. Think about it. As much as little as a toothbrush is, it has its purpose. It has something that it's doing. As small as a baler is, it has its purpose. So it might look insignificant, but the reason why it's in your life is because it has a purpose. But the thing is, there are times where the purpose for a thing ends. Are you able to sit down and reflect to say, I hope I'm not carrying a lot of junk. The purpose of this thing has gone. It's not supposed to be in my space. And remember last week when we spoke about leverage, we said there are some things that you have that you do not need. And because you know that you do not need them, there's no point keeping them. You need to give them to people because it's going to be a blessing to those people. And there are things that you also need that you don't have. Other people have it and they bless you with it. So don't be a hoarder. There's such a thing as being a hoarder. Now, a hoarder is someone who keeps things like junks, unnecessary things. Like they don't have a reason for keeping what they're keeping. Now, using a relatable example, I am a size 8. So in terms of clothing, I'm a size 8. I wear, my shoe size is 39 and sometimes 40, depending on the kind of shoe that it is. While I was younger, I was wearing 36, it was as I grew that I eventually got here and stopped here. If I have shoes of size 36, size 35, 34 in my wardrobe, if I'm keeping them, they're not useful. It's not purposeful. It's cluttering everywhere. It's not supposed to be there anymore. Why? It has fulfilled its purpose. Maybe the time where I was wearing size 35 or 36 was when I was maybe 16 or 18. But right now, I don't need it anymore. So what is it still doing in your space? Now, it might sound like, is this what this class is about? Yes, this is what this class is about. You need to make room. You need to make room for new things. So one of the things I want to encourage us to do is that during this period, what are those things in your space that you don't need? What are those things in your space that you don't need? Think about it. Old clothes, old shoes, towels. Think about them. They've reached their purpose. Now, very funny thing, but I think that it's important that we know is that I don't know if we know that your toothbrush expires every 3 months. So it means that every 3 months, you are actually supposed to change your toothbrush. If you have not changed your toothbrush every 3 months, then there's a problem. The interesting one that I heard recently that was shocking for me was the towel. You're supposed to use one towel for a day. You're not supposed to repeat your towel. And I'm very guilty of this because I'm like, one towel per day, so I need to have 5 towels. It might sound very weird, but truly and truly, this is how it's actually meant to be. So today now I want you to ask yourself, you don't need to tell me, Ask yourself, wherever you are now, just ask yourself, how long have I been using this toothbrush for? You know how the toothbrush begins to look like mop, where it's going left, right, center, north, east, west? Please, how much is brush? I know you can afford it. So it's time to change it. It's time to declutter. So think about it. Because before you step into that new year, you need to make room. You need to make room for new things. So this is one of the things that have fulfilled their purpose. Imagine you still keeping your nursery school uniform. Why? Is there a reason for that? If you have kept all the clothes that you've ever had so far, there will be no room for new ones. So there's a need for you to declutter. And if this is making sense to you, I would like to actually see it in the chat box to say, oh yes, I can relate. I have a lot of junk that I really, really, really need to remove from my life. I need space. I need space in my life. Okay. I can see the comments. Yes, so only quality people buy less brown. Thank you, Abraham. And Uju is laughing because she can relate. We can all relate. There's that one thing in our wardrobe that shouldn't be there anymore. But we're just saying, oh, I'm attached to it. I feel so connected to it. I don't want to let go. You need to let go. You need to give it to someone. Because when you let go, you would also get more. Okay, so next is the assignment. List of things that must go or be replaced. Clothes, toothbrush, towel. I've told you, you need to let it go. Some of us have been using our towel for like 2 years. So when I say some of us, I'm not there, but I just don't want you to feel the shade. That's why I'm categorizing myself alongside. So it has to go. Next, things that have refused to change. Things that have refused to change. And the question you want to ask is why? Why has this thing not changed? It might be something about you that you've always wanted to improve, you've always wanted to change, and it looks like it's not working. And I know that we've said this quote, if you've attended this series, that insanity is you doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. No, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. So now what are the things that can help you change or improve something? What are the things that can help you change? What are the things that can help you improve? So there are 4 things that I have identified here. Oh, I'm sorry. There's supposed to be a comma between or a slash between location and environment. Okay, so it's strategy. So for example, if you're a social media manager, you'd know that the platforms you manage, say Twitter, say Instagram, one thing they always do is they're always changing algorithms. What obtained last year might not obtain this year. So you need to keep tweaking, knowing when is the best time to post, what are the hashtags to use, what is trending more. Is it short form content? Is it video? Is it audio content? So that you're able to effectively do your job. So you have to always keep changing strategy. So what exactly are you doing in your business or your professional life, in your career that you have not changed? It's the way you have been doing it, that you have been doing it. You had a winning formula, maybe in an organization where you were working, and it gave you promotion, it helps you gain visibility. But now you're in a new organization and you have used that strategy and it's not working. It means that you need to find out, what new strategy can I employ? What can I do? What exactly do I need to do? Do I need to change the way I look? Do I need to sometimes you just need a small adjustment. So for example, when you're driving a car and you're trying to make a turn, sometimes you might not be able to make that turn at once. That's why you can reverse. The mirror helps you to say, okay, let me just reverse a bit. And then when I turn my hand a bit, I'll be able to move in smoothly. That is a strategy. Because you know that if you go head on and say, oh, no, let me just turn like that, you're going to wreck your car. It means you're not going to get results. You're not going to see improvement. The same thing with our lives. What are those things that needs a change of strategy? Also, for some of us, it might have to do with location or environment. What location have I found myself? What environment have I found myself? Because there are some environments and locations that are empowering, and there are others that are disempowering. You don't want to, that's why they say, oh, regulate your social media usage for some people. Because every time you go on social media, you're just always seeing how it looks like you are not improving, you are not making progress, people are doing it better than you, people are making it more than you in life, and you're just wondering, oh Lord. Especially for people that are usually intimidated by LinkedIn. You know, when you go to LinkedIn, it just looks like everybody's getting a job and you're just saying, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. And you're wondering, am I the only one that is not recording improvements in my life? Am I the only one who is not making positive impacts? You know, you begin to compare yourself. So sometimes you need to go away with some environment. And the environment doesn't have to be a physical environment, like I mentioned. It can be a virtual environment. And that's why we've mentioned social media. It might be a virtual environment. The next is levels. And so something very interesting that I noticed was that a friend shared, a senior friend, he said that he noticed that the giraffe doesn't eat on the ground. The giraffe doesn't eat on the ground. The giraffe, you know, because the giraffe has a very long neck. The giraffe would always have to reach up to get. The giraffe doesn't go down to say, oh, I'm hungry, let me eat grass, let me do all of this. As much as it wants to eat, it will definitely never lower its standards. So what have you set for yourself? What is that high height that you've set for yourself? What are those levels that you've told yourself, I can't go lower than this? You need to set these things for yourself. But of course, you know, a goat cannot say, I want to jump up to eat my food. It definitely has to eat grass because that's its level. And it will not say the giraffe is better than it because the giraffe is eating up. So there's a need for us to understand our levels per time. There are some things that might be obtainable for you at maybe the start of your career or at a certain level. But at some point, you need to step up higher. You need to come up higher. It might be, what you need might be a certain instruction. It might just be a certain relationship, a certain association that would make you better. If this is making sense and you can relate to what I'm saying, please, I would like a reaction in the chat box to say, oh, I can relate to what you're saying. And you know, the good thing is, all of this might apply to some of us where, you know, I need to change my strategy, I need to change my location, I need to change my level, I need to change myself. And besides just applying to your personal life, it can also apply to your business. I remember recently the owner of So Fresh, during a presentation that he made, was talking about when they first started. They started in Ogba, but then they realized that a bulk of their customers and their target audience work on the island. So they would always call to say, hope you have not closed. I'm coming from the island. There's traffic. I want to pick up. And he just said, they decided to do a survey to say, okay, so these customers, where a bulk of them, where do they work? Oh, VI, Ikoyi. If you're working in VI, most often you have to pass Ikoyi sometimes. Okay, let's have a store in Ikoyi. At that point of their business, they knew that they needed to move. They needed to move to Ikoyi. It wasn't like they didn't want to be on the mainland, but they knew that the bulk of their customer at this time. So they changed environment. And that environment also helped their strategy in terms of pricing, in terms of growth, understanding the life cycle structure of your business and the level where they were at. People in Ogba could not afford to pay a certain amount, but people in Ikoyi could pay, and it would help the bills and all of that. So you certain level where you found yourself would determine you to be in a certain environment. And that's why you see that sometimes as you grow, you tell yourself, oh, I can't afford to live here again. I think I need to live in this certain area because your class has changed, your taste has changed. There's a difference, and it will definitely show. And sometimes, the last point says, you need to change yourself. You need to change yourself. You cannot say, oh, this is how I am. I cannot change, or this is just me. They have to take me for who I am. This is who I am. No, the biggest room on earth is the room for improvement. So tell yourself, as I step into the new year, what is that thing that I have to change? For some of us, you know that you step into the new year, you want to improve your leadership skill. Because you know what we say, you don't learn how to shoot a gun on the battlefield. You learn before the battlefield. So begin to practice leadership. Okay, at this stage where I'm at, what kind of leadership do I need? What kind of leadership do I possess? What kind of leadership do I envision? Let me begin to act like my future now, so that when the future comes, it doesn't catch me unaware. Because sometimes we think that the future is far, but think about it. Do you know some of the dreams and the ideas that you have 5 years ago, and now that 5 years has come, and you're telling yourself, oh, I'll do it in another 5 years, and that 5 years will just come, because today was the future that you spoke about. Today, where you are, is the future that you spoke about. Today, like they say, is the tomorrow you spoke about yesterday. Yesterday, you said, I'll do it tomorrow. Now, today has come. You don't say you do it tomorrow again. You just say that you keep procrastinating. So, what do you need to change? The strategy, the location, the environment, the level, yourself. Sometimes where you are is actually not bad, but you don't need it at this phase of your life. You need something different. And then when you achieve that difference, you can now come back to where you were. Timing, sometimes timing is key with your change. So I hope that this is making sense, and you take note of this, that change is constant. Change is something that you always have with you. Lo, I'm with you to the end of the earth. It's change. Things would always change, right? Change is a constant. Next is things that will give you problem in the future. Things that will give you problem in the future. You know, one of the books I appreciate is the books of Proverbs. And it says that a wise man foresees evil and avoids it. It's just very literal. You are walking on the road and you see a ditch. You will not say, oh, I did not see it and fall into it. No, you would avoid it. Same thing, as you're going into the future, you're going into 2024 or whatever year, depending on the time you listen to this message or this program. Ask yourself, what are those things that I have now that would affect me? You know, one of the things that I like to call things that I think that can give a problem in the future is the word little foxes. What are those foxes that can come and destroy your future? I like something that my pastor would always say. He would say that if you plan to fall, don't bother to rise. Because it will be shameful. It will be disgraceful. Where your testimony will be, I used to be there, but you fell out because of things that can affect you. So think about it. Okay, as I go forward in the future, what do I need to address? If I say I want to be a leader, and right now I'm an angry fellow, how can I manage my anger? What are the anger management tips that I need? Because if you're a leader at the global stage, you cannot just afford to get angry anyhow. So it means you need anger management. Sometimes somebody makes you so upset that you want to explode, but you cannot explode in that place at that time. And it takes you practicing anger management skills not to do that. So you need to check it. What do I need to nip in the bud? What do I need to end before it ends me? There are some attitudes, behavior, characteristics that we have or do not have that would prevent us from getting to the future. For some people, it is the fact that maybe you're not patient. And you, as a leader, you require patience, because not everyone will grow at the same pace. Not everyone will grow at the same level. Not everyone will go fast. Everybody will move at their own pace, precept upon precept, stage by stage, line upon line. And you need to give them a chance, because somebody also gave you a chance. Somebody was patient with you. Somebody was willing to show you the ropes to say, no, this is not how it is. This is how you should be. So you should be willing to also pay it forward for people. So what are those things? And it requires, like I said in the next line, it requires insight and foresight. For you to know, this attitude that I have now is going to affect me in the future. Before it affects me, let me begin to make adjustments. Do I need to enroll for emotional intelligence class? Do I need to understand anger management tips? Do I need to understand conflict resolution? Am I going to be working in a very high pressured environment doing different things? Will I need project management skill? Okay, I say I want to be the CEO of my organization. I want to be the 1% of the 1% in my industry. You want to have foresight and insight to know that, okay, everyone who is the 1% of the 1% CEO, you check all their profiles, check all their credentials. What do they have that you do not have? That you can get now? Maybe more affordable. Because you know that things don't get cheaper. So rather than wait till the future where you don't have time, where your calendar is packed, and you know you require these things, and then you now be burning midnight candles, it will affect your health, maybe your family. Why not begin to do them now? Don't say I'll do it later. Don't say I'll wait. What are those things that you have to do? Don't be emotional about it. Sometimes you have to be hard on yourself. Don't be sentimental. Face reality. Be objective. Currently at the GTCO Fashion Weekend, the masterclass we just ended was a class by Sir John. You can check him out. Sir John is Beyonce's makeup artist. And something that Sir John shared with us, someone asked a question to say, what does it feel like working with Beyonce? Tell us your experience and some of the most profound projects you've worked on with her. And he said that, that he just likes the fact that she's able to communicate. And you might think that, it's trivial, but it's not. Your ability to communicate what you want as a leader, and it finds expression. The grace to remain motivated. He said he has never seen somebody who remains motivated. When she says she wants to achieve something, she always achieves it. Like she goes for a goal, she's not distracted. And he said the tragedy about this is that once Beyonce says she wants something, she will not sleep until she gets it. And I'm like, oh my God. So leaders are like this everywhere. Because sometimes I complain about my boss. My boss will be like, you have not gotten the deadline, you're going to sleep. How can you even sleep? And I'm like, what kind of boss is this? But once he said that, it resonated with me like, wow. So this is how Beyonce is. Wow. She does not sleep until she gets something done. And me, I'll have deliverables, I have targets, I have dreams, I have desires. And I'm sleeping. And I'll say, I love Beyonce. I love how she does it. She's paying the price. And if you can see what she's also doing with her daughter, she's rubbing her in. I don't think there's any child in this world who got the greatest internship opportunity like Blue Ivy, going on all the tours with her mother. Do you know if they should bring that young girl to come and talk about project management execution, she would most likely give a better masterclass than myself. Because even if I can give you, based on the certain level of exposure and reality that I have, hers will be more robust. So I'm just telling you that she knows that in the future, it's easy to carry a child along now that they are young. Their minds are malleable. This is a formative stage. You're ingraining discipline, hard work, all of that into them. And you're showing her this is how we make the money. This is how we make the name. This is how we keep the fame. This is how we keep the influence. You cannot afford to drop the ball. If you're going to be shy, I'm sure you've seen Blue Ivy's performance. If you're going to be shy, wear sunglasses and you will grow into it. And over time, she has become comfortable where she doesn't even wear the glasses anymore. That is so inspiring. So these are the things that I want us to start thinking about as we go forward into the year 2024. Don't wait for 2024 to come. Don't say it's still far. We still have so number of days left. No, it is not far. Things will just happen so fast. If you have not planned a personal retreat for yourself, please, you need to plan it now. Take that leave, 4 days, 3 days, go alone and say, what are my top priorities for 2024? We're not growing any younger. Sometimes you look at your age and you're like, oh my God, where did I clock this age? You don't want to be asking, oh my God, how did I get there? No, don't let anything catch you unawares. Orchestrate your life. Be intentional. Plan your life. Be deliberate about everything. Like everything. I don't know why I'm speaking this way, but I just know that you can't leave things to chance anymore. There's no time for that. Don't be sentimental. Don't be emotional. Be kind to yourself. Yes. Be compassionate to yourself. But tell yourself the truth. Because when you are kind to yourself, you also know that, I have also not been kind to my future self by spending those monies now, by making these wrong decisions now, by saying, let me sleep a little, by saying, oh, let me just lounge a little. I'm still a child. I'm still this. I'm still that. I have not gotten anywhere. You can't play small. You can't be there. I'm sorry if I'm sounding harsh, but it's not being harsh. It's just being passionate. So please, pay it forward now. Now that you still have the energy, pay it forward. Another thing is letting good stand in the way of better. I'm sure as children, we know that superlative and comparative table where they say good, better, best. I shall never rest until my better is best or something. I can't remember how it is. But you cannot let good
Until
stand in
my
the way
good
of
is better.
better. It says good, better, best. So it means you need to keep making progress. Everybody's celebrating you. Everybody's hyping you. Oh my God, you did a great job. Congratulations. Oh, wow, you now have a YouTube channel. Oh, you've done this, you've done that. Fine, that is good. But you know better is if you have a YouTube channel, one of the aims is that you want to attain monetization. And to attain monetization, you need at least 1,000 subscribers and you also need 4,000 watch time within 1 year. So you cannot say, oh, I've opened the channel, let me just rest. No, except that is the benchmark that you set for yourself. You need to take it up higher. Okay, now that I have the channel, what is strategy for getting my first 100 subscribers? When I get my first 100 subscribers, how can I get my next 500? What are the milestones? If I have to get 4,000 views within this period, what do I need? Set the timelines. A set is not a goal for you. So don't let good stand in the way of better. You graduated from primary school, best first school living certificate. Will you say, I've arrived, that's the end? No. You go to secondary, you do it again. You go to university, you do it again. You go for masters if you need it, do it again. You don't just say, oh no, primary school champion, and that's the end. You've not started. Very soon you'll be outdated. But it's only if you are introspective and you learn to take this into perspective that you know that, oh, this is really good. Oh, everyone is hyping me. Everyone is saying I'm doing this. Everybody is saying I'm doing that in my industry. But if I rest on my oars, if I relax, if I allow arrival mentality get to my head, very soon I'll be forgotten. Do you know that in some industries, there are some names that we usually chant, we usually sing, they were like the best, they were like the top of their game. Where are they today? That's why I say change is constant. There will always be the old and the new. There will always be a circle. There will always be a change of leadership. There will always be a change of baton. But just make sure that it is your best that you're delivering at all times. Don't say, oh, I wish I had done it better. I wish I could have done. We know that excellence is not a one-stop shop. Excellence is a journey. And it's one thing that I've also learned working here at GTCO. We had the 10th. We've been doing this so far for fashion. This is the 6th edition. And for every time we do it, we take it a notch higher. What can we do differently? We look at all the fashion shows that have been done in the world and we say, okay, so which one can we do now? Which are we able to do with the resources that we have? How can we deliver this? What projects can we do? Who should we bring? Who is relevant for these times and seasons? Taking things into perspective. It requires introspection. Introspection is thinking, analyzing, saying, okay, I've gotten so far. This is what brought me here. If I'm going to go to the next stage, I cannot afford to still do it like this. Do I need a collaboration? Do I need a training? How can I hack my growth? How can I take that quantum leap? How can I do that 10x? These are the things that you want to be asking yourself. So like I wrote there again, food for thought. What are the good things that are standing in the way of better? Look at it. What are those things that have made you look like, oh, I'm now a big boy. I'm now a big girl. I think that I've done the best that I can do. No, check again. If you, of course, we know that we're not saying compare with people in your industry, but just what is the industry standard? What is the most acceptable quality in this standard? Has my role model done much more than this? The goal is to be better than yourself every day. What I know today, tomorrow, if they ask me to come and teach on it, I should be able to teach it better. Because as I live, I'm getting experiences, I'm seeing things, I'm reading stories, I'm getting more knowledge, I'm getting more relationship that will make the story better. You can't just come and keep repeating the same thing. So what are those good things standing in the way of better for you? I know that you've done so far. I know that you have achieved a lot of things, but you need to have solid steps. You need to move forward. So that's number 4. The next is, if you know that you are getting value already, please just say, oh, thank you. Yes, this is getting to me. That is why I'm quiet. Or yes, I understand. I can relate. So there are things that are stopping you or holding you back. Number 5, things stopping or holding you back. What are those things? Identify them now. Is it fear? For some of us, it's fear. I'm afraid. Nobody in my family has said they want to do this. How can I do this? They will say I'm too ambitious. They will say. Why are you looking at other people's opinion? Why are you thinking of what they will say? Do yourself. Strive for better things. Aim for the best. They will come along later. Some people would not start with you on the journey. When you start running, some people will not run with you. They want to see how far you can go. And they will not come and say, oh, we are here. We are ready to help. We are here to support you. What do you need? They just want to see that you are making the step, that you are moving, and then they will support you. But as long as you stand and saying, there's no man, I have no man to help me, everything will stand still. You need to move. Take baby step. Left, right, left. A journey of 1,000 miles doesn't start with a step. Oh. Don't be deceived. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step taken. What did I say? A step taken. Have you taken the step? Or should I keep quiet? Or I should mind my business? A step taken. Have you taken any step? What steps are you taking? When will you take the step? Will you say one day? Or you make today day 1? Take the step. For some people, it's anger. For some people, it's bitterness. You just refuse to let go. A friend made you upset or sabotaged you, and you're just telling yourself, I can never forgive this person. I can never do this. No. You have to move on. You have to move on. Such is life. We will be hurt. Sometimes we will hurt others too. But we have to move on. Practice forgiveness. You know, they say, oh, forgiveness is like you taking a padlock, locking it. You are the one that locked the padlock. Oh, you now threw the key away. No, you can't allow anybody hold you. That's you giving too much power to somebody. You're in charge of your life. Do things differently and don't be entitled to. One thing I've learned very early as a child is that nobody owes me anything. If they give me anything, I am full of gratitude and appreciation. Like the next line says, ingratitude. Some people are not grateful. You say, oh, they're my mother, is my father, is my this, he's supposed to pay my bills. Says who? Don't we know that there are parents who don't even care about their children? As much as they're your parents and you know that it is their obligation and responsibility, when they do it, appreciate them. I'm sure that now that some of us are adults and we're now paying bills, we have our own apartments, we now know what it means to pay bills. You have to check your resources and say, I want to buy this, but I've not paid NEPA bill. Oh, I need to pay for security. Oh, I need to pay for the waste management. You begin to appreciate the things that you know that it's just regular. You were just living in the house. You didn't know that there was a lot to it. You were just saying, oh, we have chair, we have TV. When you now move to your place, you now saw that to buy rug is such a big deal, and you start appreciating your parents more. You know, I've heard a lot of male friends say they appreciated their parents more when they saw their wives giving birth. But sometimes you don't have to get there first, because God forbid, what if that parent has died, has passed? It means that while they were alive, they never knew what it was to hear thank you. Thank you can go far. Some of us, what we should do today is immediately after this class, you pick up your phone, call that friend who has always been supportive, and say thank you. Thank you for always listening. Some people, they are just there to listen to you. They might not be able to give you money. They might not be able to support you in terms of making resources available. But when you want to share their idea with them, they are there to cheer you on, to say, I trust you. I know you can do it. I'm here to support you. They might not be able to give you, but they can point you in the right direction. They will ask you, have you asked this person? Have you checked with this person? They might give you contacts. So sometimes everything you need is not money. Sometimes it's just strength. And strength comes with words. Sometimes it comes with courage. Somebody that you tell, I want to go to the sun. And the person will say, how many sunscreens are we buying? The person is not saying, if you go to the sun, you roast. You become asun. You become this. The person is not saying these empowering words. The person is just saying, don't worry, I'll get you sunscreen so that your complexion will still be all right. Encouragement. These are some of the things that we need. So do away with all the bitterness. Because sometimes when you are bitter, you will not see. You are so full of resentment that you will not think objectively. You are in a place and the person comes in and the atmosphere changes. You can't give somebody that kind of power over you. No, let go. What is fear? False expressions appearing real. They are false. They are not there. Don't let anxiety put you down. Don't die before death comes. Please. So today, another assignment. What is holding me back? For some people, it's not fear. They've overcome fear. But the thing is that their anger will not let them see clearly, because an angry person is like a mad person. So do away with it. And thank you so much for the comments. I'm seeing them make sense. So please appreciate people. Appreciate them. Just a thank you note. We can even decide to make that, do that deliberately and intentionally this Christmas. Don't send broadcasts and say, Merry Christmas. Everybody has been a great support. No. One of the ways you can also give appreciation is by exclusivity. Let people know that it is tailor-made for them. Customization. Customization. That's why some people would get an email. We get emails from maybe the bank or from one fintech or an organization, and they say, Dear Uju. You feel special. Do you think they literally sat down to say Dear Uju? No. There was an algorithm that already picked your name, but you still feel loved. You feel like, yes, it's not everybody. They called my name. They put it in the tag. You don't feel like a premium customer. These little things matter. You can't hear me or you're pretending. Obianuju, I'm speaking to you. Sorry about that. Can you still hear me? Okay, so I'll just go ahead. No BCs this year. Be intentional. No BCs. Type that person's name. Let them know that they matter and they mean a lot to you. Let me just quickly share my screen. Again, I was using my phone as a hotspot and a call came in. Sorry about that, everyone. And next is, as much as this is not a religious class, we need to know that the world is spiritual. Life is spiritual. And like they would always say, and like we've learned, the spiritual controls the physical. Some of the things that we see that have become manifestations now are things that were first in our thoughts or in our hearts, but they are no longer thoughts anymore. They are now the reality. So number 6 is things that God did not choose for you. There are some journeys that we send ourselves in this life. Sometimes you just need to consult. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I know that we're all spiritual people here and we know. There are some things that when you are going, you know that, I'm going alone. God did not send me. I send myself. And what God did not send you for, he will not provide for. And that's why they say for every vision, there's a provision. God will not provide for what he did not give you vision for. He will only give you maybe grace to endure. But another thing I also want to say is that no matter how far gone you are on the wrong road, you can always come back. You can always come back. Don't let people cheer you and say, you have gone so far. You have gone so far and you are heading where? To destruction. Don't let people cheer you to death, because they're the same people that we talk. So turn back if you know that that's not where I'm supposed to be. If you need to make that career transition, make it now. If you need to pivot, do it now. Check with yourself. When I started this year, what are the things that God told me? What were the discussions that I had with God? Where am I now on this engagement? Did I backslide in March? Oh my God, I've gone so far. This is the 11th month. You can always come back. God is always waiting for where you left him. He's always waiting for you there, because until you obey him, you will not hear the next instruction. So you have to be faithful. What has he told you? What did he choose for you? Follow it. Follow it. Okay. So like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we already know. So sometimes you're not so sure. Is he really God? Is he this? There are 3 quick tests. And now this one I learned from my pastor. 3 quick tests that can help you. The time test, the dot test, the peace test. You know, there are some times where you're doing something and you have this peace. You have this calm in your spirit. You know that, yes, it was not like you had a straight nudging, like, oh yes, go for it, do it. But there was this calm, there was this peace. You just knew that, oh yes. But there are some things that when you want to embark on, your heart's troubled. Your gut feeling, your conscience just tells you, no, you are going wrong. This is not, everything's just going haywire. All the signals are just wrong. Like, you just know that this thing is not working. You just know that now only me waka come. And then there's something also called the dot test. God would always make a way. If it is God that sent you on that journey, he would always make a way. Where it looks like, oh, people will not favor you. Oh, nobody's with me on this journey. Oh, I am on my own. God always makes a way. So sometimes when it looks like, oh, all the doors are shut. You try this connection, it didn't work. You call this person, it didn't work. You knocked all the doors and all of them didn't work. You need to take a step back and say, God, what exactly are you saying? He would always make a way. And then the time test. The time test. You know how they say, oh, time is a revealer. Time heals. Time shows. Time will just always tell you. You just know that, oh, it is time to take this move. It is time to make this test. And these things are not physical things that I would say, oh, let me explain the feeling, or let me tell you how it's going to sound, or how it's going to be, or how it's going to do. No, it's your relationship with God that will still help you and guide you on this journey. And whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, we all have what we serve, right? I serve God. I am a Christian and I believe in God and I hold on to him through these methods. So whenever you listen to this, or anytime you listen to this, whoever is listening to this, you have what you serve and you hold on to it. You know the way it answers you. Fine. And if you think what you serve or who you serve is not answering you, I don't mind telling you that you can serve the God that I serve. He will definitely answer you and he will show you that way. So things that God did not send you, sometimes it will not work. It will not work. But the good thing also with God is that sometimes it looks like you are far gone on the wrong route. But God has a way of creating new doors that can lead you to exactly where he wants you to be. But just always check with him. Check with him. And the last point is anything stopping or impeding your journey. Anything stopping or impeding your journey. Now, this is just for you to think. Introspection. I'm not going to mention anything here. You just know that your life, it's a journey. It's a journey. So see every step as an opportunity. Okay, this step that I'm in now, what are those? And I don't like us to do a lot of things. Just look for the top 3 things. Top 3 things. What are the things that are hindering me? I know we've not seen my face so far, so I think that we should see my face right now. What are the things that are hindering me? What are those things that are stopping me? Why does it look like things are not working? What can I do differently? How can I make it better? You want to ask yourself, list those 3 things. And I can assure you that if we do this well, if we oust all of these things, remember that we don't mention people here. if you can oust all of these things, you can dispel all of these things, you can declutter all of these things, take it away. Think about it rationally, objectively, without emotions and sentiment. Think about it now. You would see that 2024 will be a fantastic year for you. One of the best years that you've ever had. So, are we going to do this together? I'm inviting you to do this together with me because I'm also going to do it. It's a step that I'm also going to take. We want 2024 to be a better year where you're able to say, this is my best year so far. Now, I've come to the end of the class. I trust that it has been very, 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 very insightful for all of us. So if you have any questions, I'm ready. I'm ready to take our questions. If you have any questions, if we have any questions, if we have any questions, I'm ready to take our questions. I hope it's better now. So I'm saying that for number 7, what are those things that are stopping you? List them. Top 3, list them. And I want us to do this together. We would all succeed together. So let's do this together. So if you have any questions, I hope the audio is better now. Please let me know if the audio is better now. If you have any questions, please let me know. Let me know in the chat box and I would be happy to. Questions, any questions, please? Any questions now? I'm going to stop recording now. I believe that it has been a great class. I'm going to stop recording now. So thank you everyone for those who joined the class, those who will listen subsequently. Thank you.